So,
Thank
ladies,
you.
how about let's get rolling? I know it's only a few minutes in, but I think I would like to get started. And I don't know who all's going to be here or not. I know it is Father's Day in the United States. Is it Father's Day in South Africa? Yes? Nice.
Yes, it is.
Cool. See, he misses his daddy, doesn't he? Oh, goodness. Well, nice to see you all. Thank you for hopping on today. So, before we engage together, how about can you guys tell me how everything went with your seeking of your dead dreams or anything like that? You know what I'm talking about? Okay, that was a really bad way of putting it, but um from last week. Do you remember last week? Anyone? I
It's kind
mean,
of a foggy
it's
thing.
it's hard for me to remember yesterday. So
I
I
know.
don't blame you if you're like this. But last week, if you remember, I was coming back from my conference and I was on the road and I talked a lot about um how the Lord has been showing me my dreams and how I really felt the need to dig deep and to have him show me what he wants me to do and also what have I given up on that might have been from him. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
And so everyone was supposed to do the same thing. And I'm wondering, did you dig deep this week? Did you seek that stuff out? um because the Lord showed me even more this week
Oh,
about things in my own heart, and I would love to share some of that, but I would also really love to hear from you. So if you have anything that the Lord showed you or revealed to you, would you share it, please?
All right, I
I
can
don't
share.
want to go first.
Well,
Go for
No, I
River
Trisha.
said I
will
do
go
not want to
first.
go first. I volunteer, Sam. I volunteer, River.
I always feel like I go first, and so I don't want to step on anybody's toes. So, but I just want to move it forward. So I wasn't here last Sunday with you all in person, but I did listen to the recording of it, and then began engaging with the Father about it. And he showed me some things that literally, at first, made me cringe and cry, and just like no, like no.
Like hell no.
At this point in my life. And then I had to go, wait, what do you mean at this point in your life? You know you're going to be here eternally, or you're going to be doing this eternally. So why are you saying at this point in my life, right? Um, so a couple of things he showed me, which I'm still chewing on. One of them, I'm a little hesitant to say in public. um, because I don't know if it was just it was kind of something that in third grade dropped into me as it just dropped into me very solid, and I didn't think about it a whole lot after that. And then 2 years later I was sexually violated by a teacher, which said a whole mess of like not doing things in the way that they should be done and believing a lot of lies about myself. But in third grade I had this like, be the president of the United States. Okay, I said it, I'm sorry. I um, when I was in heaven with the Lord and I made that statement for the first time, the Lord lifted up his face and I actually saw his face. I mean, I don't see things very clear in heaven, but he looked at me and smiled, and I was like, okay, well, I know it means something. It doesn't necessarily mean that, because who knows how things are anyway. I'm just going to let that lie. Okay. Um, then the other thing that was brought up for me had to do with music, because I do write music and songs, and the songs that I write when I I write with the purpose of many years ago, as I was thinking about the world, and oh, the Lord reminded me. I'm going to say this first before I talk about the music. The Lord reminded me that when I was seven-ish, I totally believed 100% that the world could be the way that God made it to be in the Garden of Eden before the fall. That is what I believed about where we are. And that's been kind of an underlying, okay, theme in my life. And yet, of course, you look around and you see the world and it's not that way. However, the more you look at the word and the more you look at the things that God said, it's like the more that the restoration of all things is like are living in that time now. And it come back, it reminded me of like a Joshua, Jeremiah 11, the verse, you guys know the verse.
2911.
What's that? Not,
2911.
yeah, about I make everything perfect for you. You know, your plans are perfect. And
Yes.
so I've been, that verse has been churning in me for a long time. And then all of a sudden it was like, well, wait a second. If the plans are perfect for me, what about for God? He gets his perfect plan too. So his perfect plan was that time where we were living in perfect union with him in the garden, talking with him regularly. So one of my things now is like we're going back to God's original plan. That's what we're doing. And that's a line in one of my songs. And so that is part of the music thing, is that a number of years ago, as I was thinking about things, I thought, well, people don't want to listen to me talk, but if I wrote a song that had a really good tune that they couldn't get out of their head, then they'd remember the words and then they'd go, like years later, oh, that's what she's talking about. So anyway, so that's my music thing. And because I don't have like I don't have a diva voice. I don't have I'm not a musician's musician. I'm just barely there, except for that I know that God gives me these things on music. So those were two significant things that God showed me this year. And I have to tell you, it has been life altering. Um, and I did meet with a musician this week that came over to my house, and I played him the songs and he sang and he played me music, and we're going to get together. And I feel like I might have a collaborator with music and writing. And I'm really excited about that. So
Wow, that's awesome. You didn't waste no time.
what's that?
You waste no time.
Patricia, I have to say, it's not me, it's like God. He's got a plan and he doesn't want to waste any more time. It's like no time for that right now. This is the time to move. And so, yeah, okay.
Yes,
I yield.
that's
Which
wonderful.
is which is the phrase that, so just so you know, the whole political thing, I am working very hard with people in the state of Washington around reestablishing what was the original intention of the United States and the Constitution as was written. So
That's
I have
awesome.
my feet in that category as well. So,
That's
and so
awesome.
at the end of talking, oftentimes in that group we'll say, I yield. So I yield.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. That's a big blessing. Appreciate it. And it's true. I really think as you were speaking, okay, I talked to Myrna already. I mean, not Myrna, River already. We have a meeting every Friday. And so I already talked to her about a lot of this. And to me, it's not that far fetched, the whole being president thing, because I know of her involvement and calling and everything to the assembly. That, I mean, she's very much in the political everything. And so that doesn't seem so strange to me, even though I know she's not a billionaire and, have all the funds and all that. I know how it works in the United States. But I met with you then and I was like, okay, I can see this. And then today, as you were speaking, I felt like the Lord showed me something a little different. And so I want to share that with you in case it resonates. And I just want you to seek him on it. But It's like I didn't realize this exactly until he was just showing me now. Okay. So please know, very new revelation. But he was just showing me how it's like he establishes those roles in the heavenly realms over each nation. And it doesn't always reflect what is in the earth. And so, anyway, I think you need to probably take your major authority in the way of like the leader of the United States, if that makes sense. So ask the Lord about all that. But man, I just saw that and I didn't really understand that before. So
Thank you. And actually, a couple of weeks ago when you had us, I think you had us like find out what our mountains were or something like that,
okay.
right? Did you? Or
I
anyway, that's what I took away from one of the classes that I listened
okay.
to. And the mountain of the United States, in addition to my state, was one of them. And so I appreciate that because it does take off a little pressure to the whole other part. This can be in the spirit realm. Yeah, that's good. Okay, I'm down with that.
How funny. That's true. Yeah, you told me about the whole United States mountain, and I didn't really think anything of it. I was like, oh, she's called to that. But I didn't really, of course, if you're reigning and you're in charge of that mountain, I mean, that is, you basically be like the king, maybe not the president, but the king. Yeah. So we have to get rid of this whole no king over the United States bit.
Right. Right. And
Anyway.
which was interesting, I thought too, because there were a number of times, including with you a little bit, but then there were other people, and then just on my own, where I had some very powerful, strong prayers about this whole protest thing that was happening yesterday. And when I got up yesterday morning, and the first thing that I saw was a fairly well followed person on X, and he stated, "Well, it looks like these things are a flop." And I just went and I immediately answered prayer. Prayer is powerful, or prayer is something like that. I was like, prayer works. That's what I said. Prayer works, and I got a bunch of people that like clicked yes on that. So I think it gave me confirmation that the spiritual work that we're doing is really, really important and really powerful, and as much as anything that goes on in the physical, if
Right.
not more.
Right.
So, okay, I yield again.
Awesome. Okay, so Myrna and Nidia, hello, welcome. You popped in right when we were talking about this stuff. We're talking about I don't know if everyone saw last week's um class, but we were talking about the dreams that the Lord needs to kind of resurrect or bring to us, even if we haven't had them before. But all of that to really dig deep and try to figure that stuff out with Him this week. And so we're sharing, if anyone has done that, what that has been. So, anyway, just to let you know where we're at. Hi, Myrna. She said hello on the chat. um, all right. Well, who wants to go next? Yes, you do. Don't default. You know it's you, Patricia.
Okay, now can I volunteer someone else?
No, I'm volunteering you.
Well, you're the teacher. You can't volunteer
I can
people.
do what I want. I'm the teacher.
Tell people you go. Okay, so it's kind of not very clear to me because I met a few times with you too, so it's all mumbled together. But yes, there has been, interestingly enough, 8 years ago, I was here in Charlotte and I was part of a school for ministry, prophetic ministry. And one of the things that happened during this very few past days was actually we were stoking for the revival in the land, basically, literally. We were praying down, God come for a revival here in Charlotte. There was a lot of for some reason, a lot of that, there was some interracial connotation to that, because we were really right around that time, a few months prior to that, there had been some rioting here in Charlotte too. So it was really for the purpose to bring together Charlotte, the land. And so lo and behold, actually, on the 11th, I went back to the place where I was here 8 years ago, which was a place of great misery for me and sorrow. And it was like memory lane for me. And God really brought me a lot of healing there as well in that process. But it just reminded me what happened 8 years ago through that process that I went through, and how of all the people, the school is gone, literally everybody is spread all over, and I'm pretty much, I believe, the only one back here in Charlotte from that nucleus that we attended. So I feel like God is, together with what he's showing me with my business, what he's showing me to go forth with in reaching out to the community here in Charlotte through the business that he has given me. And just the people that I met, which are, I don't want to go into details, but they're, let put it that way, they're interesting. Um, there is obviously a place where he needs to be known more, you know, and and so I'm bringing the light in other people's lives, so to speak, in a very unconventional way. So that was one of the things that it did come back, you know, that I totally actually forgot about it, but it was a reviving, so to speak.
Hmm.
Yes.
Love that. Cool. Awesome. Did anyone else dig deep this week and figure anything out with the Lord with that stuff?
Don't make me volunteer you.
I mean, maybe I'm supposed to speak. I don't know. Nobody else did, apparently. All right. Well, I shared some things. Oh, Lorado, you want to go ahead?
Yeah,
Okay.
I this last Sunday when we after the class, I tried to engage and find out from the father, and it was a little bit quiet at that moment, but throughout the week, it was like I was receiving, I don't know if it's a revelation or a knowing, where the specific topic, it kind of like clears itself in my mind. One was I struggled with school, primary, high school, tertiary. I hated it. I hate the environment. I hated everything that reminds me of school, except for drawing. There was a time when I was in my primary and I was drawing my school um, just from the top of my head. I would picture myself standing from in front of my school and drew the whole school at the front, from the gate, the lines, and I was amazed by how it came out. It was like it was not me who did it. And that was one thing that I could do without thinking hard. That was one thing I could do without sweating, with less effort. And it was also in my dreams, in my vision board when I was still younger, thinking that maybe there might be a career or something in pursuing that, because there was a passion around that. So I remembered that, okay, maybe since I'm already doing technical jobs, I should consider also doing a course in drawing so that I can learn the latest apps that accommodate that drawing. Because the mentality I have is sort of like I can think in a they call it 3 dimension, 3D, where I can see things from a lot of different angles, and it comes very easily and like natural for me. So I was like, why am I struggling with things that I thinking so hard when I have an option of something that I can do without thinking so hard? And I got so excited that Oh, I think the Lord just reminded me of that passion. And the course doesn't even take long, 3 months to do it. It's not even expensive. I just have to make time for it. And also, he reminded me that I needed to finish my diploma in electrical engineering. Then I'll pursue the drawing. And I went back to school. I registered. And I think today and yesterday was my first time studying. And it was so exciting. It was so exciting to be back at school and to go for my dreams, passion, things that I'm passionate about.
Yay,
That's
that's
awesome.
awesome.
That
Yeah.
is so awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. That's wonderful. Hi, Karen. There you are. Hi.
Hi. Okay. Well, I don't know necessarily how deep I was. Um, I know that I am called to the nation, and I feel that God is showing me that I'm supposed to help people to walk into their destinies. I feel that there are people who have been through so much witchcraft and assignments that may be why I keep going through to help somebody to learn or to get the anointing that I need to be able to help somebody else to break through and to walk into their destinies. I'm not quite sure. So help me. Help me. So
Yeah,
that's what I believe that I have so far.
that's awesome. That's a really big deal. And for the Lord to point you in that direction and to start opening that up, I would say keep pursuing him in this way about it, because
Mhm.
I I have a little of that mandate. Okay. I would say not as much as you, but some of the things that the Lord has shown me about releasing people's identities in them, um, I never would have guessed that this is how. Like, I mean, some of it is so obscure in my mind. It seems obscure, but it's something that's really important.
Mhm.
So, like,
Yes.
releasing jewels to people in the spirit when he leads me to. Okay, that's nothing that I would have expected. I would have expected speak into them what they're supposed to do or something. You know what I mean? I think I am a
Yeah.
little more simple-minded than I'm a lot more simple-minded than the Lord. But you know how he expects us to do things, it might look really
Mhm.
different. And along over
Mhm.
the years he's shown me more and more things about what I'm supposed to do, and it's just as he leads. And so this journey that you're on with that will probably be, okay, Lord, what next, and where am I supposed to go, who am I supposed to talk to? And you
Mhm.
know, it could be really crazy, or it might just fall right in line with how you expect it to go. But I would say just keep that in the front of your mind. And I think for all of us, actually, when the Lord has released some sort of dream to you of, like this,
Mhm.
okay, this is something he's shown you part of your destiny, right? That's what it
Yes.
is. These dreams that we talk about, it's really part of our destiny that he has already written, and he has plans for us. Like River said in Jeremiah 29:11, I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans to prosper you,
Mhm.
not to harm you, to give you a hope and a future. He knows the plans he has for us, but we have a tendency to get off on our own thing and totally forget about his plans. And so I just
Mhm.
recommend for everyone, when the Lord shows you something, put it in front of you somehow, whatever that
Mhm.
means for you. It could be you make a picture and you put it by your computer, or you put something on the fridge, or, whatever it is. Like for me, he'll often have me like make a background on my phone because I always am looking at my phone. So like something like that that will remind me of who I am, what I'm supposed to be doing. And so anyway, I just want you guys to think about that if there's something that the Lord shows you, keep it in front of you. Otherwise, we'll probably get off on our own thing and then a few years later go, "Oh right, I was supposed to do that." you know? Um
Yeah.
so anyway, that's good. Anything else
I
you
don't
want
know.
to add on that, Karen?
I don't know. I somehow feel like I'm a gateway for my family.
That's awesome.
I don't know. Does that? But yeah. Yes.
Well, you know what? I think that's huge. The reason I say that is because I feel like that's also who I am. And I was thinking back this week about how, before me, there was no Christians in my family. And now everyone's a Christian. And it's like, I know that my job is to simply open up that door, do the redeeming of our bloodline, let me do the hard work so it's easy for everybody else, you know, um, to be that person that walks it out so that everybody else can walk on the road. I'll pave the way. And I think that you're that person too, that the Lord has allowed you to lead the way to where the legacy that you leave, maybe no one will even understand that you have done the hard work to leave them in the spiritual place that they are, but you are that person for your family. And so, anyway, I think it's beautiful. Hmm. Okay, is there anyone else who would like to share? Myrna, are you moving so you can share, or are you just moving? I'm trying to figure it out.
I'm just moving.
Okay. Okay. Well, you know what? I do want to share, but I realize that it will probably lead into what we're going to talk about today. And so um I'll give Nidia, is there anything you want to share?
Sure. I just I was feeling like, boy, did I miss last week? No, I was there. Wait, why did I don't know. I just was been so tied up. I sorry, I didn't engage about that specifically, but I was kind of thinking, Lord, okay, I was asking them right now. And I do want to say it's so cute because even yesterday I was actually thinking this out of the blue. So I thought, but the Lord is and the angels are so awesome because they kind of help you do the homework or what you're supposed to even when you don't even know.
Yeah.
But I was actually thinking I was thinking how kind of on what you were saying, how kind of like the waymaker, well obviously the Lord's a waymaker through us for our family,
Mm-hmm.
and how I also was prophesied one time, but I didn't know because I was a baby Christian. I wasn't even going to church. I just had to receive the Lord when I was little, and and they said that I was going to be the one to lit the candle, the family candle.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't know what she means, but whatever, but it, man, I was looking back and I was like, yeah. So the Lord had reminded me about this a while ago, but also like yesterday, but I felt it in like this gratitude and like I had a sense of gratitude and just peace about it because I was just kind of going through like, man, what I've gone through in my life
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. But this time when I look back, I was like, I saw it with purpose and it was meaningful of all that I had gone through. Um, and just making that path, whatever it was more spiritually. And I thinking it was more like prayers than anything, than just I guess, leading by example because I'm not perfect. And boy, my family will see my flaws, right? They're the first ones to see them. And so just making being that first person that came to the Lord, and then now everybody, like my siblings, my nieces, everybody. And then my dad's kind of wishy-washy still. Um, but just everyone, even my mom, and how the Lord has brought a lot of healing to our family, and so I'm just so grateful to be able to have done that. But now I'm like, okay, Lord, so what is it now that I'm supposed to continue to be doing now? So to be continued.
That's cool. You're starting the journey at least. That's awesome. Love it. Well, how about let's all press into the look at that. Oh, that's so cute. I can't even handle that. I don't know if you guys are seeing the cuteness on Loranto's. Okay. I love it. How about let's engage the heavenly realms together and let's just see what the Lord shows us, okay? All right, let's focus back here. All right. Thank you guys. All right. So, is there anything that you'd like to share about what the Lord was showing you?
I would.
Great.
So in the past, when we've done this engaging time with the class together, the places where I saw us were these very almost like Star Wars out in space classrooms kind of thing. The last time when I engaged over our class, like with the recording from last week where I wasn't here, and this time we were all in this meadow, this beautiful mountain meadow with sun shining on us, and the Father and Yeshua were there. And so this time I said, Father, what is the significance of this? And he said, well, he said, when it's like, as we start to really like resurrect these dreams, like really step into our identity, said it's really important to be nourished too, and to take care of yourself and to feel safe. Because even just I like I shared for myself, and I'm imagining it's probably true for some of you, to say some of these things was felt scary, and yet it's like by doing it, it's like we're breaking down the lies that held us from going there. And so the Father was just loving on us, and for us to just know that that is always going on, and that it's important that we take that time and remember that we have that with Him.
That's awesome. Thank you. Okay, I want to share something real quick just because it's only very short, but River, when you were about to say, oh, you were saying I picture us in the classroom, and in my mind, this is before you said anything about the space stuff, okay, which I did not see coming. Um I when you said that about, oh, when I picture us in the classroom, immediately I saw like this big meadow, just exactly what you were saying and all that stuff. And then you said about the space stuff, and I was like, oh, I guess I wasn't right on that. And so then it was really funny when you said all the meadow and the all these other things, and I was like, oh, it is what she saw. And so I just love when the Lord does that, because a lot of times, I don't know if this ever happens to you guys, but when someone starts speaking about their experience with the Lord in the heavenly realms, a lot of times the Lord will have me experience it with them as they're talking. And sometimes I think it's just my imagination, and then he proves otherwise. He does this a lot to me where it's like, see, I'm doing this. You really are experiencing it. And so, anyway, I just thought that was fun. That's all. Does anyone have anything else they'd like to share about what they experienced?
I would like to share.
Go ahead.
I saw, and I didn't realize it was a meadow that I saw. It was this huge angel, and he had a staff in his hand, and he was standing in this huge meadow, and it was like he picked up the staff and he hit the ground, and I saw like power, or I don't know how to really say, like I saw it like go out into the land, into like it was almost like something that you would see on a cartoon, how you would see like that you would they would hit the staff and it would see all of this power or something going forward from it. And that's what I saw.
That's awesome. Do you know I see that stuff a lot? Just exactly what you were saying. And when you started talking, I was like, oh, that's Arrayas she's seeing. And so Arrayas is you've heard me talk about Arrayas, Karen? Yes?
I
No?
don't know, but I'm
Okay.
excited to know that I'm seeing something for real.
No, it's for real. um Arrayas is this angel who is part of our class, and um he helps govern actually. And so he is huge, huge, huge. And anyway, I don't usually see him with one of these things. But when you said that, I saw him like that. And I was like, oh, he is holding that. And then one of the things I see a lot is it's like what you were explaining. I see this sometimes when the father roars or I roar, or if you're supposed to hit the ground, it's like it shakes the atmosphere. Like it's almost like you see the vibrations in the air, sort of thing. And is that what you're talking about? Like, yeah. And it just kind of goes whoosh. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to say yes. That's cool. Love it. All right. Anyone else want to share? Okay.
Yes,
Oh,
I want to share.
okay. Go ahead, Myrna.
It it resembles everything what everybody was talking about. I saw at first ladders, and I thought, what's going on, Lord? With these ladders, like the one I'm seeing. And He said, each ladder step it represents something when you fear and you're gonna get over it. Like how you go up ladder and up the ladder, like you accomplish it.
Mhm.
And then you go to a next step and a next step. And then all of a sudden, I saw teeth, like a set of teeth, like, mouth in one. And I said, what's going on in there, Lord, with the teeth now? Like little kids. Um, and it's just like the teeth actually represent is what actually we supposed to do. Like every tooth, it represents a level or a thing that he's teaching us something about the walking with him. And then I thought, oh, okay, so does that mean like position or like okay, we're learning. Like for example, like um he was you know, like guiding my mind to go like mm, master principalities and powers, like master the things, like each teeth represents something. And I said, okay, so but these teeth, the one he showed me, is nice and clean and spotless. And I said, okay. And then all of a sudden I saw scrolls, and these scrolls opened and became a slide. And then these slides, and I saw ourselves going in on the slide. I said, okay, so are we supposed to go down the slide? And then I saw ourselves going down the slide with frequency and gold, like power and power, like going down into it, like, and it looks like a cloud, like going with power, lightning, fire, like it include speed, really speed going down. I thought, oh, that's nice, Lord. So that represents something. He said, yeah, this is actually taking fear from every thing that you're doing. Fear is actually gonna be removed from every single thing. So every step represents, every teeth represents something, and that power and speed that He's given us. And when we're talking about, hitting the ground with the staff, I saw that lightning while she was talking, and I thought that's similar, but it actually the speed going down into that scroll, slippery dip, or whatever you call it, but it's going so fast.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Myrna. Cool. Anyone else want to share what you were experiencing? Hi, Pearl, by the way. And it's Father's Day for everyone else too, I think. I'm not sure about Myrna, but I know it is in South Africa and the United States. So I saw you posted that. Myrna, is it Father's Day where you're at?
No, not Father's Day yet. But happy Father's Day to all fathers, hopefully.
Well, you'll get to say happy Father's Day to our father, because today
Yes,
we are going
amen.
to the focus is going to be on him and on
Yes.
all of that stuff. So, anyone else want to share what you experienced while we were engaging? Ready?
I actually wanted to say that what you guys had been sharing has been very helpful, especially how you started, River, of seeing, just a place of just be calm and know that he is God. Because of all that's going on here in the USA. And even though, thank God, I'm not close to where it's happening, but it's very scary and fearful. And, just being Hispanic as well, and just working with a lot of the kids that, just working with a lot of the kids. So far, haven't heard of anybody that I know um, that's anything that's happened to them. But even working with or talking to my daughter, Eileen, that she's at the university, and how many students weren't able to renew their visas to continue their studies. That's their future, their livelihood, and just a lot of the stuff that's going on, not knowing what's really truly going on, and just trying to look at it at higher level, as like the Father showing us, right, of what's really truly going on and what to pray. And so I've been avoiding seeing the news and stuff like that so that I wouldn't be overtaken by fear. And quite honestly, we have so much, I'm sorry, but we have so much to do. And just taking that moment, how we run away from our fears, And so really just right now, I kind of like just taking that moment to just really trying to engage on like what's going on and stuff, and just basically just feeling the emotions. And so when you were saying about just, being just still and know that he's God and he's in control, and how I don't know if I heard right, but I know I felt that way, like not able to like having a hard time doing that. Um, anyways, just knowing that he's in control.
Thanks, Nidia. Just so you guys know, Nidia is in California, where some of the hardest stuff is happening in the United States right now. And so it's going to hit her a little harder probably than people like me, where I'm in the Midwest and hardly anything's happening around here. So anyway, well, okay. Anyone else want to share? Okay. Well,
Actually, I did want to say something. I couldn't find my
right here.
unmute button.
Okay.
Sorry.
I always try to start before because I think I'm waiting too long, and then someone says something. Okay, so go ahead, River. Sorry about that.
Just that I just really appreciate how, like, when you look at everything that everyone shared, it all fits together into the same picture, that of, that we are, that the work that we're doing, that what we're doing, that what Father's bringing us to has a huge impact, and that we're just, we're one person, and we are together. But it's like with the angel coming down with that, that mighty blast of power. That is what's happening when we do what we're doing here. And so, and it is changing things in the world. It's like when I was listening to Myrna talking about the slide, and I was thinking, is that sliding the heavenly work down into the earthly realm? Because that is what we're doing too. We're standing in the gap between the spiritual and the physical. And yeah, I just wanted to share that because it just seemed like it was, even though we get pictures sometimes that look different, it's all part of the same picture because it is the God Lord's work. So, yeah.
Thank you. Hold on one second, guys. If you can, but I'm afraid of being locked in again. Okay. All right. Oh, you guys, you want to take a short, hilarious break? The reason I say this. Okay, so my daughter came in to see if I wanted my door fully shut because whenever I do this, I always, any kind of appointments, anything, my door is fully shut. I have my office in my bedroom. Okay, so I have a really big bedroom and I have like an office area. And so, anyway, I said, well, yes, but I don't want to be locked in. And the reason is this morning, um, I woke up and had to go to the bathroom. Of course, this is my life. And when I need to pee, I have got to pee quickly. That is how it is with me. And so, anyway, I go to open my door and I can't get out of my bedroom. And it's like it won't open. My door won't open. And so I've been having this trouble with the foundation of my house is like settling and everything shifting. And so, anyway, apparently overnight it did way worse because I couldn't get out. And I'm like freaking out. How do I get out? Okay, come on. I can do this. And I'm like trying to pull up on the door and all this, which of course makes me need to pee worse, right? I mean, I'm like, okay, I can do this. And thankfully I went and got my daughter last night. She wasn't even supposed to be here. And so anyway, I called her to try to see if she was awake and could help me. And so, even though she's just in the bedroom, like across the house, still, I knew if I yelled from my room, it wouldn't go through the door of her room and all of that. And so, anyway, I called her. She answered the phone. So she came and she helped me and we worked a long time together to try to open it. And she's like, Mom, no, it's locked. And I'm like, no, it's not locked. It's just, it won't open. And I'm like, you got to pull up and all of this stuff. And so anyway, she, okay. So anyway, she finally got me out, but I was looking around my room like, what can I pee in? What is going to happen here? And so, anyway, thankfully, she got me out. Everything was fine. And now she just asked, do you want me to close the door? And I'm like, well, if I'm going to be able to get out if we do this. She goes, well, here, let me just try. And so she was doing it. And she just came in right now as I was telling the story and said, I do not recommend closing this door. And so I'm like, anyway, random. It'll be fine. I have my brother-in-law coming to fix it tomorrow, but oh my goodness. The life. Okay. Did I make it to the bathroom? I did make it. I did not pee myself, thankfully. Okay. I don't even know what I could pee in this room. This is, yeah, that would have been bad. Okay. Anyway. All right. There's my funny life. Well, when we were engaging, the Lord just started really, I was sitting here crying because of everything he was showing me in a good way, crying. Like, when you're just crying because of the awesomeness, like that sort of thing. And, today, sorry for you, Myrna, it's not Father's Day there, but here it is. And, the Lord, I mean, I felt like there was no other thing to do but to just talk about the goodness of the Lord and intimacy with the Lord and all of these things with the Father. Okay. And he started showing me how everything goes together. um so remember this week we were talking about dreams, digging deep, um to figure out what these dreams are that have been dead or need to be resurrected, or what are things that he has for us that we don't even know about yet, all of that. And so as I was going this week, I was trying to dig deep and really go, okay, Lord, what is it you're wanting to speak to me? And in the past few days, he has just really shown me some things that I wasn't expecting. Um, this might seem obvious to everyone but me, but I I have been accepting crumbs from men. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Anyone here, I'm going to say everyone here has either had relationships with men, or, and when I say relationships with men, I could say romantic relationships or father daughter relationships. Okay. It all goes together. This is how it is for me. All right. Because the Lord was showing me this week how I accept crumbs from men in every way. Um, and when I say that, I think if I'm going to be vulnerable, of course, like always. Um, I love loving people. It's like all I want is someone to be able to spoil and love on and nurture and care for. I think I want that worse than I want anything for myself. I love that role. I love supporting people's dreams. All of that. It's like my favorite. But I have a tendency to expect very little. Um, Even I think hope for very little. Um, and part of that is good and part of it is bad. So I'm very content with being single. Like I love my peace. I don't want any man to interrupt that. I don't. I don't want another kid to take care of. You know what I mean? Not that I love my kids, don't get me wrong, but I don't want a man child. Okay? So I I don't need someone like that. And um most men that have come after me are just not there. You know what I mean? There are some who are absolutely wonderful in certain areas, and then in other areas are like children. And I would say that's how most people are. I'm sure I'm like this in some areas. I don't know, but I sure know that a lot of men are like this because I've come across them all. And so, anyway, this is something the Lord was showing me this week, that I have a tendency to accept not even close to enough from men. And he started showing me um, the example of my dad. Now, let me just tell you, I believe I have the best dad in the entire world. Okay. Um, and this is my blood dad. He's not even close to as good as my heavenly father, but like my earthly dad is super. My parents, I mean, you're just going to get a picture of it. Okay. I don't know if you guys have good dads, had good dads. I don't know if you had terrible dads, if you didn't know your dads. I really don't know everybody's story here. But I'm going to share with you about my dad. Because I think he is a great example. He is by far not perfect, but he is the best example of a man being the best he can be. Okay. He and my mom got married, and then my mom decided she didn't want to be married to him anymore. She said, "I love you, but I'm not in love with you." And after 5 years, left him. So my sister and I were really young. I was almost 5, and my sister was 1. And so when that happened, my mom took my sister and me and moved a couple hours away to her hometown where her parents lived. And I was 2 hours away from my dad. My dad could come and get us every other weekend and take us. And he was the most consistent. He did all of the driving every time. Never, ever did my mom do any driving. He would drive 2 hours to come and get us on Saturday morning, drive us 2 hours back to his house, and then on Sunday evening would drive us 2 hours back to our house, and then drive 2 hours back to his house. And he did this very consistently. Like there was no time he would miss. There was never a time ever that he said he would do something and didn't. You know how some men are like that? Like they promise, oh, I'll be there, and then they don't show up. That was never, ever a thing with my dad. My dad overgave child support. So, like, he gave more than he was supposed to for a long time. He would do anything for us, anytime we were his priority. Even though we didn't live with him, he's like, call me anytime. He was always there. Every time in our car ride, we had the best times. We had times of singing stupid songs. Even we would always sing Let It Snow, even if it was in the summertime. And we would do all these things together. And I remember my dad and I would debate all sorts of things, and my sister would go, quit fighting. And both of us would look at each other and go, we're not fighting. Like we were just debating, and I loved it and he loved it. And then he would always buy us Valentine's every Valentine's Day. And when I got to be an adult, he came and would always drive to my college and have lunch with me or whatever, even though it was a long ways away. When I moved to Chicago, he flew out to see me as often as he could. He was always there, and he would support me in whatever I wanted to do. When no one would support me, he would support me. And what's this really reminds me of the Father. My sister and I are his favorites. He doesn't favor one of us over the other, but we are definitely favored over anyone else. Does that make sense? And that's what Father does for me. He has told me, Father has said to me, you're my favorite. And I believe him. Like, do I think I'm favored over you guys? No. It's a lot like my sister and I. We're both his favorites, but we're favored. You know what I mean? And I know if I need something, my dad will do whatever it takes to make it happen. It doesn't matter if he doesn't have a way, he will make a way. That's who he is. My Father in heaven does the same thing. I know if I need a favor, I'll ask the Lord. Like, I don't doubt it. If somebody says, hey, I don't know how this can happen, what do you think? What can you do? And I'll just say, I'll ask a favor of the Lord. I mean, I know it sounds silly. Other people would be like, I'll pray about it. There's something in me that says, no, I just ask for a favor from the Lord. He'll do anything for me. That's how I feel in my heart. Like, The Father will do anything for me if I really want it. And I don't really ask for much. And so when I do, he always shows up. And I love this about him, that he shows me, our Father in heaven shows me what a real man is supposed to be like. He protects me all the time. He makes wild adventures for me, makes me step out of my comfort zone, but is always there to catch me. Always. He provides for me in a way that I don't have to worry. You know, I was just telling someone this morning, she was saying how I was in an appointment and she was saying, please, please ask the Father to provide for me because I need money and I need a financial miracle. And when I started engaging over her, I saw her laying in this huge bed of cash. And um and I was like, what is this? She didn't know she was laying in this bed of cash. And the Father showed me she already has all she needs. She just doesn't even realize it. And I thought, she's not going to understand this because this lady, I don't know how to say it, but she's a difficult one. And so um I knew she was not going to understand that. She's just like, what? I already have it. And it was true. She didn't understand. And so I had to tell her, I think it might be a lot like my life where if you look at my bank account, you would go, this doesn't make sense. You're not going to be able to pay your bills. And I might even freak out about paying a bill, actually. But every single time the Lord comes through and makes something happen. And I always have everything I need. There's never a time when I don't have what I need. And I usually don't know where it's going to come from. So I don't have it in a bank account showing that I can do it, but it shows up, And anyway, I was trying to explain this to her, and it's just the supernatural way of the Lord that, just like my dad will make it happen in a way that I don't understand, or, I don't get it. My Father in heaven does that even more. And one of the things that I learned is that my Father wants for me in this earth to have someone like him. And that's one of these dreams that he was resurrecting, I suppose, or maybe not even resurrecting. I feel like he just had to make the dream for me, like to show me that this is something that's real and he wants for me, is that it actually is possible to have someone who is like him, who makes me the priority, who wants to take care of me, who wants to have relationship with me all the time, who wants to love on me and protect me and provide for me and be that masculine part to my feminine. Like, there is a person in this world that can do that, just like my dad. Like, my dad is a person. He's a real guy. He is that guy. Now, I'm not in love with my dad. Please don't misunderstand. But he's showing me, hey, there are men like this, who will do whatever it takes. Because I don't know how many times I have had people say to me, I love you. It's just I'm not good enough for you. Well, you know what? That just pisses me off. You know what that says to me? You won't try to be good enough for me. That's what that means, is like, you don't have it in you to actually care enough about me to make yourself the best you can be. And you know what? I love that our Father is not like that. He will do whatever it takes for me. If he needs to chase me down and make things happen, he will do whatever it takes. I am his priority. He loves me so much, he will do anything to have me. I know that's true. Now, you guys, I'm sure all of you are like, duh, obviously God's the best. It's true. But I think a lot of us don't appreciate the true awesomeness of the Lord. I think I talk to people most of the time. I don't know if you guys are these people or not. Probably some of you are, some of you aren't. But there are times when people get mad at God for not showing up. And you know what? That pisses me off. I'll tell you the truth. That's the real truth. If you want to really know how I feel, I am like, that is my father who does not leave you or forsake you. Like, I know his character and he's better than that. And if there's a reason he didn't show up, it is for your benefit, 100%. And so I have this weird, just like I am with my dad. Honestly, if anybody says anything about my dad, I'm like, I will beat you up. Like, that's how I feel. I mean, I'm like, no, he is the best there is. Yeah, that's how I feel about my father in heaven, too. And so some people around me have had to learn that maybe they shouldn't talk bad about God around me because I get really crazy. I do. I admit. I'm just like, I don't align with that. I'm not, nope. Quit talking to me. Go talk to somebody else. Because for me, it just doesn't make sense how you could be mad at the best guy in the whole world. And it's beyond that. God is the very best father you could ever have. He's the very best lover you could ever have. He is the one. He is the one, the example for all of men. He's the guy. If you had a shitty dad or a shitty husband or a shitty boyfriend, that's not God. Quit blaming God for other people's stupid mistakes. You know, humans, we're a mess. We're a mess. But you can't blame God for humans being a mess. I mean, you can't do it. Our Father will do anything. You know what? My dad, okay, my aunt, my dad's sister, she comes to visit a lot. She lives close to River, actually, in Washington State. And she comes to visit a lot. And some of you know, my sister and I, we both have done many different businesses and side hustles and things. And we have loved every single one that we've done. Well, I haven't loved every single one, but most every single one. And my dad always listens to us and joins whatever we're doing to support us. He doesn't ever work any of these businesses, but he'll do a facial with Mary Kay if we want him to. You know what I mean? I mean, he's a customer. He'll use the skincare and the cologne and whatever, you know. I mean, he will take the balance oil. He'll drink this supplement, whatever it is. This is how he is. And my aunt said, Dave, why do you do that? Why do you always support what they're doing? And he said, why wouldn't I? I love them and they can do this. Like, I believe in them. And if they tell me something's good for me, I believe them. And I thought, that's what a good dad does. That's what my father in heaven does. He's like, I got you. I'll stand behind you. I'll help with whatever I can. I may not do everything for you, but I will stand behind you and I will support you when nobody else does. And when people think you're crazy, I got you. That's what Father does for me. He does this all the time. When people think I'm crazy, he stands behind me and goes, I'm proud of this one. And he makes me know it. And when I think I'm too weak to do things spiritually, like if I'm on my mountain and I'm feeling weak, and he's like, come on, honey, roar. And I'm like, you know what I mean? He will stand behind me, I'll roar, and just give me the power and the strength I don't have. He will hold me up when I feel like completely faint. He will come to my rescue when I'm sick and when I'm tired and when I feel like I can't go on. He comes every time to my rescue. And you know what? He often sends others to do it too. That's the cool thing. He will send me angels. I mean, heck, I feel like without knowing it, he sent my daughter to me last night to be here this morning. It wasn't the plan that she was supposed to be here. And she was here to help me get out of this door. You know, I mean, that sounds so simple, but I feel like he just cares about me. And I know he cares. And on this Father's Day, I want us to remember who he really is and that he's our priority. He's the reason we do it all. We can talk about all the supernatural things. We can talk about all of these ways that he heals us or we can get healing. The truth is, we won't get any healing until we press into the intimacy with our Father. When we go back to the basics and we spend time with him and we honor him and we love him and we want nothing else but him, that's when he goes and changes everything for us. But we'll be spinning our wheels if we start focusing on all these other things and lose focus of him. I want to pull up something for you that he actually, it came up on my time hop today, and the Lord said, you need to share this. And so it's very simple. Actually, here, I could probably, you could see it yourself too, maybe. Do you guys see this? It's a Bible verse. Surprise, surprise. It says, you guide me with your counsel, and afterward you receive me with honor. Whom have I in heaven but you? And there's nothing on earth that I desire other than you. My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever.
Forever. What is that verse?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't even remember. It's definitely in Psalms, but I can look it up and find out.
That's okay. I can look it up too. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I just came across that was one of these verses in my, I call it ghetto Bible. I have this, I know it's strange, but I have this Bible that's been with me forever. And I used it so much, and I highlight and write things and underline and all these things. But I used it so much that all of the binding completely fell off and it was falling apart.
Those are the best Bibles.
I know. And when I was a youth pastor, all my kids called it Ghetto Bible because it was like looking so ghetto. And actually, it doesn't look so ghetto now because I did a funeral for this lady's mom, and she was super grateful and saw my Bible and said, "Hey, I want to take this back to Dallas with me and see if I can get it rebound for you." And I'm like, "That'd be amazing." And so anyway, the only place that would rebind it was this prison. And so there's this prison that they did binding and stuff on books. So she got this prison to rebind my Bible. And so anyway, now it has a nice leather binding and all of that. And it's beautiful, but it's so funny. So it really is Ghetto Bible, but I still call it Ghetto Bible, even though it's not, but that was from Ghetto Bible. Anyway, well, I don't know if there's a lot more to share, really. I just hope that no matter what kind of relationships you've had with men or fathers or anything in your life, that you recognize that our Father's the best one. And he's the one who is the example. And we don't need to settle for stupid crap. In life at all. Okay. I'm just going to tell you, like, not at all. I believe he is our portion, and everything that comes from him is wonderful. And if you have a father who has let you down, don't think that's how he is. That's not how our Father is. Your earthly father doesn't need to be the example. I mean, I had a good example and I feel blessed by that, but I mean, he's not the best in every way. my dad still depends on me for anything spiritual. He he doesn't get it. He would say he loves the Lord, but he doesn't have a good relationship. He doesn't even know how. I've tried to help him. He tries to engage, and every time he's like, I'm just not seeing anything. Can you just tell me? And so, anyway,
God bless him.
I don't know. He's a good guy. But he's not my spiritual example. He's not anyway like that. But um I think what the Father has done for me is he has fulfilled everything in my heart that I've needed. And I need to remember that there's no person on the earth, man or woman, friend, anything, who can fulfill my needs like the Father. But at the same time, if other people are being crappy to me, I don't need to have them as the close people in my life. I mean, that's the truth. I was thinking about this the other day. I think I kind of shared with you guys a little bit, but I have this group of friends who they're just freaking negative. And I've gotten to where I'm like, I don't have time for that. I love you. I'll help you, but you don't need to be one of those people who's next to my heart. Like, and I know that sounds terrible, but the Lord has made me in the last maybe 6 months has really changed my heart to have boundaries in a way that is helpful for me. And I have struggled with boundaries my whole life, but finally I'm at the place where okay, I hope I am never offending you guys by my language. Okay. I'm not trying in any way to, but sometimes I don't have better language. And I know that may seem like I'm unintelligent, but I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to use some language and I don't want you to get offended. Please know my heart. But you know that phrase that people use when they get to about 45 years old and they say, I have no more fucks to give? That is how I have felt, is like I care about people, but I don't have any more. I don't have any more of that for you if you're gonna be negative in my life. I'm
But you're
over it.
not 45.
I'm almost 45. I turned 45 in July,
Oh,
next month. And maybe I hit early. Okay. I don't know. I don't think you have to be a certain age, but the whole point is you get to a certain age and you are done with the bull crap, right?
yeah.
You
Hmm.
want to walk with those who will walk with you. You want to be arm in arm with the people who are going the same direction. And for everybody else, go do your own thing. Okay. And that's how I feel. I have people who still are coming against me with my theology. Guess what? I don't give a crap. I don't care. Nope. I've got no more fucks to give. I don't care. And I know that sounds terrible, but you go do your own thing. And I'm happy for you to do your own thing. I am not cursing you. I love you. I love you to leave. Like that is fine. And that I I hope I don't sound unloving. I hope you know I'm one of the most loving people in the world. I really am. I love people, but I recognize I don't need to walk hand in hand with everyone.
It's called healthy boundaries. Praise
Yes,
God for them.
ma'am. I know. And I think that what the Father wants for me is a higher standard. That's what he's showing me, that I need a higher standard in my life for all relationships, for every relationship, and that I don't need to let somebody's weirdness control how I feel. That's on them for being weird, and for whatever they're lacking, they'll go through it. And it's probably good that they're weird because then they'll get to go through it and learn through it and all of the things just like I have to do. Right. I'm sure people think that about me. And, I would be happy if someone said, I don't agree with you. Go do your own thing. Because that's what I want for everybody else. Like, if you don't agree with my way, go do your own thing. It's fine. Bless you. I bless you on your way out. I feel like that's a good thing. And so I'm in the place where I really want to I want to honor the Father in everything I do. I don't want negativity to overtake my life in any way. I want my life to be full of love and light and healing and going toward the Lord and seeing people's lives change. Like, that's my passion. I love seeing breakthrough in people's lives. I don't need people to be perfect to be around me. I just need us to be walking the same direction. You know, if you're not perfect, you're just like me. I don't need to be perfect. I just want us to be going the same direction and trying to grow in our relationship with the Lord. And when there's someone I know I'm thinking of, and I shouldn't say who it is, but there's someone who is attached to my family who doesn't want to grow at all. And you know what? I don't like it. I don't like it. You're not walking the same direction. That's really hard for me. I want to, in the spirit, have the Lord release that person from my family's life, because I'm not going to be rude. I'm going to love them anyway. But man, I want people who walk the same direction, that you are into your own healing. I want that for every person around me. If you aren't running after your healing, we're not on the same road. We're not. So, you guys, all of you here, don't worry. You are on the same road. You are running after your own healing. You are running after the Father. And I just want to encourage everyone to stay focused on what He wants for you and the blessings that He wants for you. Just like what you said earlier, I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you a hope and a future. That's what I want. I want to go after His plans for me, not my plans that are like not good enough of, accepting morsels from men. No, thank you. I am over that. I am ready to say, nope, if you don't got it all, go do your own thing, bless you, and leave you. That's what it's going to be like, because I need people in my life to be on the same road. And my road is all toward the Father. That's what I care about. I care about growing closer to Him all the time. I care about His counsel. That part of the scripture, that He gives me counsel. I love that. My Father in heaven gives me the best counsel. He gives me everything I need to know what I need to do. When I don't get it, I say, I don't get it, Lord. And He goes, just do this little step. You're fine. Just go here, do this. And it usually doesn't make sense to me, but I know His ways are higher than my ways and His thoughts are higher than my thoughts. So I don't need to trust what He says. I just need to trust Him. You know what I mean? I kind of trusting what He says is trusting Him, but I don't usually understand it. Usually the Father says stuff to me and I'm like, so that doesn't make sense to me. And He's just like, just trust me. You're okay. And so I feel like I'm still a child with Him, and He's growing me up, giving me more responsibility, showing me a little more all the time. But I'm still in the place where I need Him all the time. I need Him all the time. I don't know if there'll ever be a time I don't, but I need Him all the time, and I need Him to show me all the time, lead me all the time. I hate when He tells me, you decide, because I feel like I'm not ready for that. But, I know He's trying to grow me up when He says these things. Anyway. Oh, thank you. I'm glad. Thank you, Myrna. I appreciate what you're saying. Oh, by the way, for the people who are listening on recording, Myrna said, thank you, Christine. We love you, and same to you. Bless you, and here for you to walk. So, anyone have anything to add about how awesome your Father is, or anything like that?
Christine, thank you for sharing how also your dad was, because for people that don't know, they haven't had one that way. we don't, we don't know what we don't know. We can't expect what we don't know, what we can and what is expectable, I guess. And so that gives me a different perspective of like, wow, okay, I didn't even think about that. So I thank you for that. And I guess my prayer would be for the Father to show me more of him, more of who he is, and so that I can, just get to know him more and know reality and know truth
Mm-hmm.
about him.
Well, that's awesome. As you were saying that, I was reminded of okay, so I am not a person who is violent at all. Okay. It feels like I don't have any violent bone in my body. But my dad, when I got divorced, he made sure that I had a gun and all of this in my house in a safe place. And he wanted to prepare me with every weapon that I needed. And so I would have protection even if he wasn't there to protect me. And when you were talking, I was somehow reminded of this and how the Father has done that for me. Like our Father in heaven, he gives me these weapons that I don't know how to use. And then he shows me what to do with them. And he shows me how to protect myself. And it's interesting. I then am able to protect other people. Like when he first gave me this sword, I didn't know how to use a sword. What am I supposed to do with this? And then he gives me this flaming sword. Well, that makes even less sense to me. So what am I supposed to do with this? And then he starts showing me, oh, this does this, and you can use it for this. And it's so cool to see how we can get mentored by the Father, just like we can with our fathers in the earth. And my dad in the earth will take me out, make sure I'm fed. He never lets me pay. All of these things. I feel like Father's just like that he provides for us. He never lets us pay. Like, I don't know if you feel like this, but my life is super like this. I depend on him for everything. And so there are times when I feel like I can't just live on faith. Okay. I don't know if you've ever had these feelings before, but I don't know how many times I'm just like, this faith thing is way too hard for me. I can't just live on faith for finances all the time. I feel like I've been arguing with the Lord about this for years, like 20 years or something. And so, anyway, um, I'm realizing now that he wants it to be like this. In fact, I was just talking to this guy who said he wants a wife who doesn't ever work and who doesn't do anything like that, not because he doesn't support her, but he wants to be the one who gives her everything she needs. And he wants to be the one who always makes sure she's taken care of, that there's nothing she has to worry about, that all she has to worry about is getting some food on the table for him when he gets home from work. And I'm just like, that's my dream life. And so, anyway, hearing a guy say that really made me go, that's how Father is with me. Like, that's why he always wants me to live by faith and not have enough, is because he wants to be the one to provide it. He doesn't want me to be the one having to worry about the hustle. He wants to be the one who will provide everything I need. And it's so cool just to feel that from the Father and to finally realize that it's a blessing, not a curse. It's not something I should fight with him about. I should just relax into it and recognize that, yes, my Father in heaven will help get my nails done. You know what I mean? It's silly stuff like that, but that's like, he actually cares about little things I care about. And I love that about him, that he'll do it. Anyway, it's cool. Okay. Let me see what Nidia said. She said, I wanted my daughter to have a gun when she moved to college. I took her to a shooting range to practice and everything. Well, let's just say I thought she was better off without one that clumsy. That clumsy. Well, I don't know what you said. Something is safer without one. That's
Yeah,
funny.
she was so clumsy with it. I was like, yeah, not even a teaser gun for you. You probably hurt yourself. Oh,
That's funny. I love it. Hey, you're being wise. Pearl, go ahead.
I love the general idea of Father caring for us and knowing that we are his children. And because he's a king and he's Lord and he's sovereign, that he literally has everything at his disposal in order to give to us. So for me, it is the question always remains it is about getting it from him down to us.
Mm-hmm.
So every time you say something like that, it's like, tell me how, tell me how, tell me how. But I also understand the need to keep going to him and to develop our own relationship with him in such a way where the route that he will take us in order to supply our need will be that personal, yes, I love you, and this is the way I show you I love you. And the route to that is probably different to the route I would take for Christine.
Well, you know what's interesting? I feel like the way changes all the time for me. So I don't feel like there's one way. I mean,
Yeah.
it definitely is through a relationship, 100%. But that I'm thinking of this. Okay. I don't know if I told you guys this. When I went to this business conference last weekend, um, the Lord was speaking to me so much about how um I needed to grow, but I couldn't tell if he was talking about that business or my ministry or what he was talking about. And I was just like, okay. And he's giving me certain strategies and things. I'm like, okay, cool. He's resurrecting dreams in me. I'm like, I don't understand how to do this, and I'm really like constantly confused, I feel like. And so I'm just going, okay, I don't get it, Lord. Can you just tell me what to do? And most of the time, I'm really bad about taking hints. Okay. So Pearl, you will know this because I've told you this is what happened. But he brought you up to me one time in this business conference. And I'm like, why would I be thinking about her right now? Get it out of my mind. And so then another time he brings you up. And I'm like, Lord, am I supposed to be paying attention to this? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm still bad at taking hints. And so then you message me that I came into two of your dreams, and here's what it said. And it was like, okay, Lord, it's obvious now. I get it. And so then I was like, oh, I really need to talk to her about it. And so, anyway, there's so much I need to talk to you about again, Pearl, by the way. Um, so, as I was talking to you, it's like the Lord started lining things up. And I realized I don't have to hustle to do this business, which was my concern. My concern was my health is in a place where I just need to focus on getting healthy. How can I even do this? You know? And he's just like, I got you. I got you. And then, even Nidia, then we were engaging about her son, and the Lord is like, oh, he needs to take this and this and this. I was not looking for business when I'm meeting with Nidia about her son, but the Lord is like providing again. Like this just comes and he just starts doing these things, and I'm like, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming. I get, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I need to buy my dad a present for Father's Day. I don't know how I'm going to do it because I don't have any money. Boom. I get a tithe from who in this class, who you are. And anyway, it's just such a big blessing. The Lord like does this, and it's not just through you guys. Like this happens in my life with everything. It's like I'm out of bread. Someone goes, oh, I just made sourdough. You want some? Just whatever it is, this happens so often that now I don't know where anything's coming from. I just trust that it is. And so I see him show up even when I don't get where it's going to happen. Like I don't have a place, well, this is how it manifests. I kind of go, okay, let's watch and see what happens. So I'm always looking for his provision. I don't even usually ask. It's like, I don't know how to say this. I share such a oneness in my heart with the Lord that it's like he always hears what my heart wants and needs. And I'm not trying to say don't talk to the Lord. It's just how our relationship is. I don't talk very much. I think I've told you this. I really don't talk to the Lord very much. I just kind of pay attention to what he's doing. And this is how I am with him. And he knows that's how I am. And so he'll drop little things in my heart and we'll kind of commune around it. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how it is.
I do understand. Whereas previously, because I was quite immature in developing that relationship with the Lord, where I needed that protocol, that specific way of doing something, he has been so gracious in that he knows that I'm in training. So he gives me these guardrails, these protocols. And the more I use them and I get used to them, then it's like removing the training wheels where I don't need the protocols anymore. What I'm doing now is that he's changing my mindset as to how I see him.
Yes.
So the way I relate to him now is in terms of, oh my God, genuinely, he is such a good father. And I see him as like my father is a king. And because we have this in England, where the king or the royal family, they own everything in this country, I'm seeing him more and more like that, as sovereign, as king, and I'm his princess, and he really wants to provide all my needs. So with that knowledge of who he is, I then become more, I then develop this belief that if I need something, he will provide, because basically he has everything at his disposal. As his child, he will get it for me. So because my mindset is changing and my perspective on him is changing, and also based on some of the things he's been saying to me, where he said, like I remember one time Holy Spirit said, Father wants to know if you'll be his friend. Or Holy Spirit put me down in this place, and literally it is in this royal bedroom. And I didn't know when I stepped out of the bedroom and into a garden, that is the garden of my heart, and that's where we meet. I didn't know there was such a thing. So more and more, as he shows me specific things in our relationship, I'm beginning to trust him more.
Yeah.
So your example of your father and how well he has treated you as a daughter, the first time I saw my father, I was 14 years old. Mm. So I am bereft in everything about my being, about what it means to be loved by a father. But also, in my being and in my soul, the Lord has been showing me that I had an orphan spirit, because he told me that. I didn't know that when I was with Jesus and we were holding each other. He said to me, the reason why I don't want to go into the house that he's provided for me. And I said, no. He said, you have an orphan spirit. And like, I'm in shock. What do you mean by this? So more and more he's showing me that there is a void around me, and that void is not feeling safe. I have no one to make me feel safe, because I never had a father around to make me feel safe. So I'm always vulnerable in my internal being, in my soul. But he's also shown me how he is redeeming that, and he has redeemed that. So this father thing is good, me trying to work out these protocols and how he does things. Yes, that I used to ask you that a lot. How do you do it? But I know by him being so gracious in showing me that I need the protocol and then removing the training wheels to the point where I know deep in my heart, even though I don't have it now, I know that there's just this generosity to him that it will come.
Awesome.
Sorry that took so long in the explanation.
No, that's good. And when you were talking, it reminded me of how, I've talked about trading. And one of the things that he showed me a long time ago, he had me really practice trading all the time. And it was, important that I practiced because he would always prove to me his character when I did. And he would ask me to give him things. And sometimes it would be things in the earth. Sometimes it would be money. Sometimes it would be things that he's given me in the spirit. But every time he'd ask me for these things, I would give them as an offering. And then he would give me something in return. And it was like every time I had amnesia or something, because I would be like, oh, yeah, you do give me something. And it's like I'm thinking it's a big sacrifice from myself, forgetting that he always gives me something better in return. And it's like he just had to work on it's almost like he was just trying to work on my character, my trust in his character.
Yes.
I knew it, but I didn't really
Yes.
feel it. I always felt like I was sacrificing. And I think I felt like that when I was young a lot too, in different ways. So I wasn't thinking about trading, but I would think of everything I did for him in his laws and all of that in the Bible, these things. Anything I did for him it felt like a sacrifice for him. And so it was still good because it was a sacrifice of love, you know. But I was even talking to my daughter yesterday about this, how when I was a teenager, my mom gave me rules that were stupid. Okay, they were just, I will say that, and she'll admit it now, but she sure didn't admit it then. And she banned me from going to Bible study. She was terrible to me and really, whatever. But I would obey her out of obedience to the Lord. And I would still be respectful out of obedience to the Lord. I thought she was ridiculous and didn't deserve it. And what I really wanted to do was rebel. But I love the Lord. And so I would sacrifice for him. You know what I mean? And everything I did for him was a sacrifice, is what it felt like. What I found out when I sacrificed this Bible study where I was growing like crazy. Okay, I was growing like crazy. It was the only place I was growing. Um, and I sacrificed that for him, thinking this is going to ruin my relationship with the Lord. Like, I really thought this is terrible. And what he did was he honored it even more. And I grew more in that next year than ever I'd ever grown in my life. And it's like he returned something to me that seemed impossible. And that's what he does. Like, he proves so anyway, you were talking about this protocol. I don't intentionally trade very often now. It's not something he has me do. Like, I have to think of going on the sea of glass and trading. Like, I can do that, but he doesn't lead me in that same way anymore. Now it's like a constant way of life. It's like always a trade, and I always understand the trade now. And everything I do, I realize he has a reason, and he always returns back to me better than I could expect. And so for me, I understand that whole training wheel thing, because that's how he's worked with me. Has been like, you have to do this and this and this and this and practice this for a million years, and then all of a sudden you're grown. And it's so strange. It's hard to talk about. Sometimes it's even hard for me to talk about intimacy with Yeshua now. I had such a very clear, intimate relationship with Yeshua for years. And now we are so one that it's like we only function as one most of the time now, to where I don't see him as separate anymore. And
it's almost like it's hard to say relationship, because relationship feels like two people coming and conversing or do something, and it's not like that anymore. It's even closer, but it's hard to say that because no one understands it. And so anyway, but I feel this. Okay, I went and talked way too much. I'm very sorry. It is already 3 o'clock here. We have Kingdom Builders that's supposed to start right now with Engaging Heaven. So if you want to engage some more, stay on. It's fine. And we'll all engage together. So anyway, I should stop our class at least. I love you guys.